No. Okay.
Too late now.
Hey everybody, welcome to Raptors in the Kitchen. It's Tuesday, 22nd of July, 2014. I'm your host Alan Kerr, joined by Paul Faulkner.
Hello.
Paul.
Hello.
You're on camera. I'm just checking
Sorry,
to that. Yeah. So people know who you are. This is Paul.
Hello.
Hair.
Yes. Although with the hair, with a kind of nice sunny halo behind you.
It's just like Jesus.
Yeah. Hello.
Oh,
How are you, Kerr?
How are you, Kerr? In second year?
Alright, Kerr.
That's the old time anyone's ever called me about second year.
What about your mum?
What? Why would she call me about second year?
That's
Called
two
you Kerr a
brothers.
couple of times. Because remember the name, it was like Kerr, I'm trying to think of a nickname, I think like J Dog's one is Care Bear.
Yeah.
So like, if your mum was angry, would you be like, Alan Kerr?
No,
Get down the stairs.
It would be Alan Daniel Kerr. It would throw
The
me.
middle name is
Yeah,
probably
middle
Michael.
Yeah.
The more.
Well, a lot of the time though with mom, it'll be Brian, David, Alan.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like
the
say
more.
them all.
Yeah.
It's like I'm sure one of them will answer.
That's the way. Like the angry my mum is more wrong names that come before my name.
Yeah.
That's how you
Well,
know, like, or just like
Even Kate.
Mark, Caitlin, Fred, Barney, George, Paul, get down here. Oh.
You're Fred, Barney, and George.
Like the Flintstones.
Oh.
Who's George of the Flintstones? Is that
George.
George?
Yes. Yeah, it might be.
No, it's Mr.
Mr.
George. Surname.
Boulder.
It's not.
Yup, yeah.
Mr. Slate, that's what his name was.
George Slate.
Was it George Slate?
Clean slate.
Clean Slate. Right. It's much like this conversation.
What?
Paco Rodriguez is also here.
Hello?
Did you ever get Francisco by your mum?
No.
No.
Literally the only person who did call me Francisco was my ex's mother, because she said it sounded pretty
Alright, she's trying to be
different.
cool and unique, yeah.
No.
I'll call him Francisco. Oh,
You love me the most. It's uncanny, is she here?
Tommy Vass is also here.
How's it going?
Yeah, I mean, Paul just asked that, and I think I pretty well covered how it's going.
No, he accused me of attacking you for being in second year. No.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, Faulkner, that's who you get when you start.
Nobody's ever
Called
called
like
me
a dog.
Faulkner. Nobody's
Really?
ever called. No. Like,
Yeah, well, see, the
never
one time
happened.
someone just referred to my second name, like, they soon got to know me after that and realised he's not the kind of person you just refer to as your second name. I can't pull that off.
Do you think you've got a name where, you know, you can't just say Paul? It'd be like, oh, Paul Faulkner was saying this.
No, I don't think,
No?
I think Paul works. I think Faulkner's kind of too long,
Yeah.
silly, clumsy, and I don't.
But you get Paulie and Paul Doodle and.
Yeah, but I don't think like Alan Kerr. I think's a better. But that's I think shorter.
Because it's
work
short.
better,
Yeah.
But not just that, because there are also several Alans like that we
suppose,
know,
yeah.
whereas like you're the only Paul.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm not like we're away at Paul Faulkner's house. It's always we're at Polly Paul's.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Paulie
yeah.
Paul's a good one as well. Paulie Walnuts, good one.
That's yeah, very good. I think we've talked about my nicknames and the nicknames I've tried to start for
Yeah.
myself.
What have you started? What have you
Well, we
tried?
over this before, I think.
Yeah, we did like fairly recently as well.
Oh, no, I don't remember.
But,
Just say the nickname because it is gold. You try to start for yourself.
is this my like really hard nickname?
Yeah.
The Ice Pick.
Because it's the deadliest weapon of all.
The ice pick.
Ice Pick is
How's
deadly.
that a
Oh,
deadly weapon?
because it can kill anyone. They can come for me. It's just a part of like every day. So you wouldn't suspect it.
Who's got an ice pick? No one actually has ice picks.
Oh,
They made a movie with it, Fatal Attraction. She can't get the ice pick.
And you
No,
know what?
it's not basic instinct.
Is it Basic Instinct?
Basic instinct, yeah.
Oh yeah.
No,
Fatal
I'm
Instinct.
just trying.
Basic
I'm trying to
That's a
picture.
good nickname as well.
Picture like a police rap sheet and it's like we've got Paul Faulkner, street name Ice Pick in custody.
Who calls an ice pick? He does.
He does.
It's like street name Ice Pick. It's like
We've
oh,
got
that's the first.
another murder committed with an ice pick. Well, wonder who that was.
Yeah.
We know where he lives, let's go and get him again.
The ice
Yeah.
pick.
He lives in a giant ice pick in
Let's-
Ice Village.
Let's go through the sales at ice picks in the entire country. Just one.
Someone keeps buying them in July.
Yeah. And they're buying them in bulk to make sure that the cops aren't following them. That's what they'd find. They just find like 10,000 ice picks, just one for every victim.
Don't ever become a serial killer.
What would your theme be if you were a serial killer film?
That's a good question.
Would you be
God, I don't know.
do you ever watch that
Like,
film,
do
The
you mean-
Calendar Man?
The Calendar Man.
That's a Batman
Yeah.
villain.
That's a Batman villain.
Yeah, but it's a movie as well. Possibly starring Kevin Kline.
Okay.
Not entirely sure about that. But
No.
like, it was like he's a cop, and there's a serial killer called the Calendar Man because he does a killing every month.
Just that's the long Halloween. Well, it's the long Halloween is what that is, but it's not every month. But yeah, okay. So no, I've not seen this. Is it good?
I don't
What's
know. Like, I saw
so
it
what
was
does he
like,
leave a calendar at the scene of the
no,
crime?
like he ends up like it's been a long time since I've seen it, right? But like it's more than just the month of the year that comes into it. It's something to do with like when they look at like all the people he's killed all over the place. Somehow they managed to work out that it's like notes in a song, like a particular song,
Right.
and that's how they know where he's going to go next.
I guess they just play the victim.
Like Andy, what's her name? The guy from the Abyss, Andy McDowell,
No, that's Marianne Mastrantonio we were thinking of.
the one that gets drowned in the
Yeah,
Abyss.
that's Marianne Mastrantonio. She's in Robin Hood and Scarface.
It's Andy McDowell. Isn't it?
She's in Groundhog Day,
4 wins and a funeral.
Yeah, I think it is her.
the L'Oreal adverts.
Oh, she's worth it. Yeah, like I think it is her that's in it as well.
Right.
Really old film.
That's not a good sign. Like.
But anyway,
yeah.
point being is, what would your theory?
What would yours be? Have you thought? Well, I mean, you're kind of a bit of a
She's a
sociopath
policeman.
anyway, so I'm trying to think.
I would try and I would obviously try and be themeless.
Oh no, yeah, because you don't like that, do you? You hate it when it's like we're watching Arrow, where you're like, why the fuck is everything always Arrow? He's green and it has to have this.
No,
it has to have Arrow.
Arrow's not as bad as Batman. Annoys me with his bat computer and batarangs and his bat cape and his bat bike and his bat everything. It's just fucking stupid. It is. It's so fucking stupid. Why can't it just be a computer? Why does it have to be a bat computer?
We'll just call it the back computer because of the back cave.
It's ludicrous. The Batcave. The Batcave.
It's literally a Batcave.
Yeah, that's like.
But that's
fair enough.
what's really good about
He's
like.
Batman. He's in a Batcave. Those two things are fair
Yeah,
enough.
it's very common.
The Batmobile is just a car.
Yeah, but that's what's good about like watching Nolan's movies because he takes all those like ideas in the Batman universe and makes it subtle in the sense it's like, well, he's got a Batmobile, but we're not going to call it that. It's called the Tumbler. And he's got a cave, but it just happens to be under his house.
Then even then though, it's like he's like sitting
chiseling bat.
Yeah, fashioning batarangs to throw. Like, why not just make it?
Well, like you said, this is calling card.
Because as a symbol, he can be more than just a man.
Aye.
But it's just so Harry.
What would you do?
I would obviously try and make it all look like natural causes and stuff. Like
Not have it be like postal service themed.
Yeah, exactly. I would be like the going postal man.
Oh, right, okay.
Like, obviously, you try and make it so that you don't get caught. So, like, why the fuck would you, like, I would try to purposely. I would purposely. Yeah, you are. If you're killing people, still.
Even though was it though?
Yeah, exactly. The
I don't
whole
know.
point is the worst thing.
You're a successful serial killer.
No, the worst thing of a serial
You're what
killer
Dexter
is to,
wants to be.
the worst thing of a serial killer is to no. I mean, I think Dexter succeeds pretty well. He goes up and over Jack. The worst thing for a serial killer is not to get caught.
No, you need to be caught. But see, yeah, no, in Dexter.
In real life, we're talking
Oh,
about.
that's the last chapter. That's the
I
closing
don't want
part.
that. When I start that sociopathic killing spree, I don't want people to assume that it's just me straight away. That's why I won't kill the people in the Gorbals. They're safe.
Oh. Okay, to answer your question, having thought about it, my thing would probably be like I would burn the victims and it'd be like fire, and I'd like to be called the Infernal Killer or something like that.
That's lame.
What a horrible thing to do, Hugo.
Well, yeah. What would yours be? I mean, yeah.
Would you like burn them alive, or would you burn them after you kill them?
That depends. that would depend on the victim. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I only kill bad people.
What about if you kill homophobes? And then there can be a flaming something in there?
Well, like,
It's half-shaped.
see, like,
The Flaming Avenger.
as you set on fire, would you say stuff like sweet burn?
Maybe. You're saying flaming.
Just for it has benefit because no one else is around to see it.
Guys just screaming and agony.
Yeah.
Would you waste loads of time like Batman does, like drawing pictures in fire?
No.
He probably got the Gotham kids to do that for him. That's probably,
Could you make like designs, like draw pictures in their ashes?
Well, I would like in the ashes. I would just write my name. It's me. I disagree with the whole thing where you're like, man. I mean, that's the whole when you get a themed serial killer. It's like, yeah, it's their calling card because they kind of want to be called.
It's an ego thing.
I probably wouldn't bother with that. In the sense, I'm like, no, if I would just set them on fire, and because I'd be leaving like evidence would burn.
I love the casual. I would just set them on fire.
Set them on fire. I would burn most. That means most of the evidence would probably be burned, and
Well, that's fire still, like, because I mean, a lot of like stabs and stuff are there's so much. so much DNA that can be picked up, but Fire's still like one of those good ones that, although they can
Fire
like
the cleanse off.
yeah, exactly. Fire's still
just
got that purity to it.
Yeah, just to be super safe, I would burn them and then throw the ashes in acid. There you go. Nothing left. I was like, man, done it again.
What were yourself, Alan?
I don't know. Fast food themed? I don't know.
Well, you would force feed people until they burst.
I was
Look
thinking
all
put them in a burger.
Look at all the menus and let's I don't know, like this is my Whopper themed death.
Yeah, you could have
even
like
with a Burger King.
you could have like a Saw themed
The
thing where
super
like,
size killer.
it's like it's like they're between
The
two
family
buns
bucket
going towards the
murders.
grinder.
The Kentucky
Oh,
Fried
God.
Killer.
Yep.
That's
Kentucky Fried Killer.
Cut one up into like 12 slices like a pizza, leaving it on a Pizza Hut somewhere.
it's like this is the work of KFK.
Stuffed crust,
Kentucky
just
Fried
melted
Killer.
cheese.
Yeah.
Filling up.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
that
I think
like
you won,
7
yeah.
movies we've got here.
So
You would. How do you get caught?
yeah,
What mistake
do you eat a
You're
burger
too
at the
fast.
scene of your scene of a crime
Yeah,
and leave
like,
the burger?
kind of impact burgers where he just takes a bite and explodes in his face. You know you couldn't resist it.
No, I'd like to. I'm trying to think of like fast food kind of catchphrase, like I don't know, have it your way, the Subway one,
Nice.
something like that.
I'm
like,
loving it.
but I'm like, I go to a Subway
You can't get the
and I
choice.
just want to get like a regular sandwich, and they're like, oh, you can have it your way. What do you want? Oh no, I kill people. Whoops, did I say that out loud?
That'd be such a
Or like,
way to go
if you get into
accidentally get yourself caught by saying it to somebody.
you get into an argument like Greg's over VAT and it's the taxes which catch you.
Yeah, I get done for tax evasion
Yeah.
at the end of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 weeks in a row. Taxation's coming up.
It's the Raptors cream of choice.
So, like, okay, if you had to,
I would end up. You know, thing well. If it was actually going to happen, it'd end up being like some kind of religious theme killing. I'd be going about killing priests.
True Detective.
Or like in the style of like martyrdom deaths from the Bible and stuff. That's pretty cool.
No, because then they would see some significance in it. I would like purposefully
But innocent,
make them as bland as possible.
That works for you as well because they might be seeing it as connected to this mega thing where you're just like, I'm just a guy doing it, and now they think that
It's good that this is all on video so that it can be used against us later.
yeah. It's like we'll read the headlines tomorrow. Gorbel goes up in flames. Fast food man seen there.
Ice pick.
Ice pick. Yeah. Someone claimed that ice pick was said.
Can you even buy ice picks in this country?
Surely.
You probably.
Yeah, they buy everything.
Okay.
B2's probably a great place to get murder weapons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Would you ever
Probably a great place to murder people.
kill somebody with a toilet seat?
I was thinking it
It could
or
have been any of these people. Everything was here. I'm just among the 75 people in the store.
There's a right there, man. Lock down the BQ, no one gets out till we find out who did it.
Yeah. My.
Murders keep happening.
Oh,
Different
God.
departments.
I was having a drink with a friend yesterday, and he was saying that he just came home from a holiday and everything was great. And he just wanted to settle down and just chill out, and then he gets a phone call from his mum and dad saying that they're having a murder mystery themed dinner. So
awesome.
him, his brother, his girlfriend, and all that went, and he had to get dressed up and whatever, and it was brilliant. He said that one of the characters his brother had to play was this former boxer, and his girlfriend was doing like the makeup and all that for it, but I think she didn't really seem to get it because I think it was like he was a boxer and he liked basketball. So as part of his get up, like he had like the wife beater vest on and some tattoos, but one of the tattoos that she wrote is on his finger she wrote "slam dunk." I just thought it was fucking brilliant. But yeah, I was like, his parents, everything were in it. I'm like, wow, like I didn't think families did that. I thought that was, you know.
I've been to one of those, and it was like a charity kind of one.
Of all the people I know, I thought it'd be you. Your family would definitely be up for that, just because you
Oh,
do
no.
like that kind of thing. No.
Like, no, I mean, I would happily take part in one, but not like with the family. I don't think. No.
Not those two.
Yeah, well, they just don't know how to stay in character. But
Not with those people, his family.
the people who were kind of the characters and the one that I went along to just didn't really care about it, and so I was asking all these questions, and they kind of tried to play along for a wee bit, and then just were eventually like, look, you're completely on the wrong trail, go away.
Okay.
What a buzzkill.
Alright, sorry, yeah.
I'd love to do something like that. Like, it sounds so much fun.
Where do you go? Something like
Ah, I've got a small flat.
that. Yeah, but it's not.
Rent it.
I don't think it's.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't necessarily think it's a space thing because this guy's not like got a mansion or whatever. It's just his parents live in I think it's a normal house. It was a normal dinner party. It's more of a role play and try to figure things out. Not.
Yeah, it's for your imagination, Alan.
Yeah, it's not like we must go into the east wing to investigate the bedroom.
Well, next year, my birthday. I know what I'm doing.
Cluedo.
I
No.
think you should convert your
The
flat
thing we
to
just talked about.
remains.
Aye, Cluedo.
Okay, so we're going to review some films eventually, and we'll talk about some films eventually. The reviews we'll have is Begin Again, which Paul saw, Boyhood, which me and Tommy saw, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which we all saw.
Yeah.
It's only out last week. That's it. Paul saw I Am Divine months ago. We've covered that already. None of us saw Pudsey the Dog movie. Currently sitting at a big fat zero.
I did think about that, and I was like, nah.
I see 10 minutes of it, and it's truly awful.
You're afraid of dogs, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm better than I
He's
used
a
to
lot
be.
better than what he used
Even
to be.
talking ones?
Talking ones.
Yeah.
I would love a talking dog.
Would that help you get over your fear? If you was like, back, we'll chill out.
I
I'm gonna bite you.
I've been bitten so many times by dogs that I no longer actually fear being bitten by dogs.
Have you had many bites as a postman, like going to
Yeah, that's
the great
just-
stereotype?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I've been bitten so many times that now I'm just like, I know it's not that sore, so it's like,
Wow.
we'll show you.
You should. You never run the docs about any of those bites of that. one.
Because, we've got these thing called tetanus jags that people get, so you don't really need to bother with that.
So let's stop getting rabies.
Dogs in this country don't have rabies.
Well, you don't.
You do know that.
Almost definitely there's a rabid dog somewhere in this country.
I severely doubt it. Like, and if there is,
You don't think of all the dogs in the whole country, there's one that is secretly
no,
rabid?
I absolutely do not think that's the case.
Yeah, foaming
That's
at
sort of
mouth,
shit
thinking
just
about
does
your
not happen in
magnificent
Britain.
calf muscles.
Like,
Like, I'm gonna get this.
there was like when I was at Edinburgh Zoo a couple of years back, there was like one of the pens was blocked off because some of the monkeys had rabies there.
Oh.
Because it had big fucking signs saying these animals have rabies, stay the fuck back.
Yeah.
No joke.
Yeah, don't be
But yeah,
patient
like-
zero.
That stuff, like, it's not like they can conceal that shit. Like, if a dog's
foaming at
rabid,
mouth,
then
yeah.
it's, you don't get that in this country. That
But I
is
think
not
I
happening
think
here.
what Alan's saying is you've not seen every dog in the country, so there might be at least one or two.
Somewhere, just somebody's testing rabies in a dog.
I think maybe just like a wild dog in like Dover or something. I don't know.
Why Dover?
The rabid dogs
rabies,
in
yeah.
Dover.
Yeah. It's foaming white.
Isn't that
like
a
the-
Kennedy song?
Rabid Rover of Dover.
Oh,
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Alright.
Taking over.
yeah. Would he be your criminal sidekick in the fast food murders?
Alright, let's talk about some film stuff.
How's the interview
You're
going?
too crazy. You're too unreliable.
Yeah. You're off the.
The talking dog thing.
Yeah.
So first up, there's some rumored Star Wars plot details.
Oh, brilliant.
He,
Rumours, Star Wars.
well, like one of
Some or
one-
most of it is in space.
One of them, one of them is fairly.
It was a long time ago.
Aye.
A galaxy far, far away.
Do you
Spoilers.
remember a few months ago, like J.J. Abrams put up a video of him on set, and he was talking about that charity thing they're doing, where you can win a chance to come take part and be in the film, and be on set and stuff like that. This was like a follow-up video to that, and he's standing in front of like what is this, like a spaceship of some kind, and as the camera zooms out, it looks like a kind of new model of an X-wing, which is pretty cool. It's all blue painted and stuff, and then a guy comes by and he's like, "Excuse me," and gets into the pilot ship. And the little, the little droids that roam about the
Like the remote
Death
control
Star.
car looking thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Those little ones.
Yeah.
One of them rolls by.
That was like the most crappy looking thing. The original Star Wars like was clearly a radio control.
like, no, man, what the fuck is it supposed to do?
Yeah, it just kind of kicks about. It's the same as that whole thing when you see Leia getting stunned. Only happens once. The big circle, or is it triangle?
Yeah, no, it's like blue concentric circles.
Yeah. That could probably come in handy a lot other times in
it's
the
kind of like
trilogy.
They use them in the games.
yeah, but but this is a New Hope. We're like, right, that happens. It's like this doesn't ever happen. It's like we had one shot, we used it, we used it once, and we're not doing it again.
So the rumor plot details are that the film is going to open like following Luke's hand. Spoilers for the Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
As it falls down.
Well, actually, you don't know it's Luke's hand. It's just a hand grasping a lightsaber.
Yeah.
That
Probably Luke's.
That happens to be Luke's
Yeah.
lightsaber.
And this is found like years later by John Boyega's character, who is going to play a stormtrooper who is like kind of went rogue and being like, fuck the Empire, I don't really work for them anymore. They're probably the bad guys. And he finds this hand in this lightsaber and he's like, this is odd. And then Jedi's existed anymore. So him and this girl who's played by Daisy Ridley go off and try and find out more about that, and they get in touch with Han and Chewie, and they're like, oh, that was Luke Skywalker's hand. He's not been seen for 3 years. Cut to them try to find out more about the Jedi. That's all I said about it.
Speaking of Harrison Ford said, when was the last time you seen a
So,
Jedi?
question here, right, is like, is it Luke's already robotic hand, or has he now actually just lost both his hands?
No, this is
Empire Strikes
this
Back.
is the hand that the Vader cuts off.
Oh, right. Well, hold on. That doesn't make any sense then,
Yeah.
because that happened in Bespin. Why the fuck would that be in a desert planet?
Well, what's below Bespin?
It's a gas planet. It's a gas giant. They tell you that.
Is that in the books?
No, they tell you that in the film.
I don't think that's true.
They do?
Why would someone take the time to be, let's go to Cloud City? Fun fact, by the way, underneath Bespin is this gas giant.
Because it is.
I've seen that movie a lot of times.
I don't recall that.
Don't think that happens.
That absolutely happens.
I don't even know if they talk about the exterior.
I don't think they do.
I'm going to back up Paco for no reason, but to even things up. Go,
Thanks,
Paco,
Paul.
go.
Got my back ace
Go.
pick.
Yes.
Click, click.
Yeah, ice pick at school.
But yeah, I mean, if this is true, it brings up a lot of questions. Why is there still stormtroopers kicking about 30 years later?
How did his hand survive that we brought?
Yeah.
Come on.
Unless he finds it
Yeah, that's a
when
good
he's young,
point,
and
'cause
then grows up.
You're supposed to. Well, I mean, it doesn't really say it, but at the end of Return of the Jedi is supposed to be the symbol that the Empire has been toppled. So yeah, why is there stormtroopers still kicking about?
Maybe there's some sort
But
of
is there still factions of the Empire?
rebel empires.
What? I mean,
Man, see the thing is, like, I want to start talking about what happens in the books, but it's all irrelevant now. In the books, like, the Empire doesn't just go away overnight.
Yeah,
no, I know. I'm not saying that it would go away
They're
overnight.
called the Remnant.
It was like in Halo 4 when they're still like
Covenant.
No, I'm not saying
what
that.
Paco's been good enough not to talk about the rest of the books and stuff. Don't you fucking bring hell over here, okay?
No, but don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they'd be like, oh, the Death Star's done, so the Empire's done. It's like, no, because that wouldn't happen. What everybody just stops.
I really hope they keep, like, I know they've said that the books are now useless. Like, I hope they keep some of the really fucking good characters.
I don't think they'll keep any characters, but there's bound to be like ideas and stuff that'll still carry over that are just like the logical conclusion of what would happen.
The guy who takes control of the Empire, like, is a brilliant character. I'd like to see
What's his
him be
name?
in the film. Gilad Palain.
All right, he's not
He's a human.
a Darth.
No.
Okay.
He's just a dude.
Okay. Is he he's as bad as,
No, he's a good guy.
but he takes control of the Empire.
Yeah.
Right, so he's
Like
not
he's like the highest ranking military officer after like Palpatine and all that gets
Alright.
handed to them.
He must be pretty low down then, because like you imagine most of them would have been on the Death Star, like it blown up.
Mm.
Yeah, like,
He was just like-
he's all about
Like
phone
he worked
call
in the
came through.
cafeteria somewhere.
he's all about peacefully trying to kind of keep the Empire like alive as his own thing, but also have like negotiations with the New Republic.
There's a reason he's been kept low down. His politics don't seem to agree with the higher uppers.
Yeah.
That's why he's not on the Death Star.
Yep. Ben Whishaw is replacing Colin Firth as the voice of Harry
I
Potter.
was glad to hear. Like, thank goodness we
Good
got
choice,
a really
yeah.
good, English actor.
He's very, very English.
It's not going to make a difference though, is it? Because regardless of whether it was Colin Firth or Bill Shaw,
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch all
Ben
this.
Whishaw is Q.
Q.
Skyfall. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't really have an opinion about that. It's happened.
What is Colin Firth doing though? Because
He's in a movie that looks
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah, it
crazy,
does.
like
It
spy.
looks so
James
fucking
Bond.
bad. It's like
Oh wait.
The-
Are you guys talking about Kingsman, the Secret
Yeah,
Service?
that's the one.
That looks pretty good.
like,
Man, you were
do you know the last thing I want to
It's,
see?
it's the guy that did First Class. It's,
Matthew Vaughn.
Matthew
Yeah, but the
yeah.
last thing I want to see is a movie where Ned's in any way the hero, and that's what this looks like.
I don't know, man.
They
You like
find,
attack the block.
they find a wee dick in the street here, that's because all the dickheads die.
Yeah, but they
Brilliant ways
What
to
are
attack the
you
block.
talking about? Like, attack the block, the Neds, like, or there's a Ned leader who wins.
Yeah, but that's
for the
not why
Neds.
I like it. I like it because you get to see a guy wearing a motorcycle helmet get his head chopped off.
Yeah.
And
so
stuff
like
that.
this looks like they're going to reform this guy and say, oh, we can show you a better
I'm
way.
not for it. I don't like it. Like
They
it's
don't deserve a second chance.
exactly. So
Where
just-
would we be if James T. Kirk hadn't turned his way around and joined the
See,
Enterprise?
I have this conversation with like a friend, and like, it's always about like, see, like the Angels of Share, right? I don't like that movie because I mean I think it's well directed and whatnot, right? But I mean, have you seen the Angels of Share?
I mean, I know
Angels share.
No, it's Angels of Share.
No, it's Angels.
Angels share.
Angels apostrophe.
I think
If something
Angels
ends in
is-
the letter S and you want
Angels
to
is
pluralize
not
it
a
or
word because angels.
See, I'm trying to think because like the way they anyway,
Trust me.
regardless of
definitely Angels share. It's like if you're talking about Jesus' sandals, it would just be Jesus apostrophe sandals.
because it
Jesus
refers to the
and the
whiskey
Angels
that
share.
disappears during the.
yeah, that's
So
it.
it's
Sorry, yeah,
It's the share that
Angels
belongs
share.
to the
the
angels.
Angels, right? Okay.
And that is our English lesson.
Well, there we go. That's being taught for that one. But in that film, it's got that whole thing where it's like about like some like Ned who is trying to he's reformed. He's now a dad, and he wants to like get his life back on track, along with a couple other Neds. And they kind of go in a fun kind of way where they go to steal whiskey, but it's supposed to be you're sympathising with them because they're trying to reform, turn their life around. I remember like watching that film, and you see why he was in jail or why he was gone to court. Like he blinds a decent human being and wrecks his life as a result of it. And see, as soon as you see that bit, I cannot sympathise or be in that guy's side at all. And therefore, I'm like, I can't watch the rest of this film because I do not like these people because they're.
Yeah.
I was like, all I could think about was if you want to make this fair, you'll take his eye.
An eye for an eye, the whole world goes blind. So
In a way, I was like, man, this is not retribution here. This guy, it's kind of what we were talking about, like with the Wolf Among Us. Some of the decisions you make, you're like, no, it's about justice, or you're like, no, you lose your temper, whatever. But when I was watching that film, I was like, no, this is not enough. This guy is not just, he doesn't even say he's sorry. He just kind of hangs his head in shame, and I'm like, no, I can't get with that. But again, it's like, lots of folk loved it and whatever, and I don't know, it's really weird. But at the same time, I could watch like Goodfellas and watch that, and I don't say like those
is
characters.
that because you're like far removed from that though? Like,
Well, it's
like the fucking like American mafia have got so little to do with my life that they can be bad and that's fine. I can watch that objectively.
Yeah.
Like, Neds annoy me on a daily basis. I do not want to see one in
Maybe.
any way glamorized.
No, maybe it is that, but again, what's your thoughts on that?
Mark Wahlberg, blinded guy.
That's true, yeah. Like,
In real life, yeah.
wait, yeah. When
Everyone
you
loves
read about what he did, you're like,
He used to be a
that's
total
bad.
scumbag, yeah.
I mean, I know he was.
He get done for like attempted murder and stuff.
But
When
he
he was
was
young, yeah.
a very, very bad egg.
Like, was that like I don't know? Was he still like trying to make it as an actor or whatever? Or was this
I think it
like
was probably pre-Funky Bunch days.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
God.
It was something. It was really bad. Like this guy helped him. Like he was like harboring him, and as a result, like Marky Mark, I think racially attacked him and blinded him in one eye, as a kind of because it was all a ruse kind of thing, and he did it. And the guy's still alive. But I think he like lost his job and all kind of shit. And Mark Wahlberg is now successful and everybody loves him. But all you can think about is Mark Wahlberg. You owe that man some retribution.
That's
It's like
Remember
if,
when Cheryl Cole beat up
exactly.
that
And
toilet
she's,
woman and
racist,
called her all sorts
yeah,
of
yeah.
Was it in a toilet, I think?
Yeah,
Or was it
yeah.
in a toilet pen?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Like I barely know who Cheryl Cole is.
Cheryl Cole is a popular.
I know, no, I know who she is. Like,
yeah, she 'cause
she
that's
was
what-
on. She married a footballer and she was like a judge on one of those crap shows.
correct. But she was
And a musician.
yeah,
Well,
musician. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of those, because she was wanting to work in America, but because of that incident, the visa was a bit of a problem. But anyway, getting back to what we're talking about in terms of like watching those kind of movies. I mean, what are your thoughts on it? Can you just kind of like, well, yeah, no, they're reformed characters, so it's I can kind of root for them.
I mean, I think that generally what they're trying to accomplish there is that people have kind of moments of weakness, that people do grow up, that people can, in theory, change. And it is, it is a question of how is there a line between, because there's a lot of kind of violent stuff that I could probably overlook. There's a lot of crimes which you in theory can overlook, but then like a paedophile or a rapist,
Mhm.
which is sort of a very, very severe crime, that is something which I personally would have a lot of trouble of being like, maybe that was 20 years ago, maybe you've since grown up to have a family or whatever, but I can't
Forget that.
you. Yeah, I can't overlook that. I can't see past that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is a lot of that kind of stuff is just personal lines and
Also, like Mike Tyson, convicted rapist.
yep, and like now is this kind
No
of
one
fun
cares
joke.
anymore.
Yep, yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy to me.
Especially being that Mel Gibson wasn't allowed to be in Hangover 3 because of what happened with him. But like, Mike Tyson was allowed to be.
Well, he retorted with that, was it not? He's like, yeah, they won't let me do that because I've got a bad past, but they'll be alright with Mike Tyson, a convicted rapist, being in their film. Two movies. He's on the second one, is he?
I can't. No,
Yes,
he
yeah, that's right. He does a really horrible rap.
Yeah, he's the worst voice.
Yeah. No, that's just I just wondered what your thoughts were on it because I don't know.
But yeah, that film, as soon as like it started up, like I was like, what is this nonsense? With like some kind of Ned cutting about, and then Colin Firth shows up, and I was just like, hold on, what? It's like, oh, we're gonna make you a spy, even though you're a little fucking dickhead.
Yeah, but it turned into kind of like a kind of goofy, funny like.
I just didn't think it looked that
That
funny.
is
That was my big thing.
quality.
I just didn't.
I didn't see the trailer, so
bad. Like there was
because there's
no
Matthew
was
Vaughn, it
it's-
got me kind of
yeah,
like,
Michael
this might be
Caine,
alright.
Is Samuel L. Jackson in it?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
He pops up. Yeah, because he has a whiff.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Oh, people speak so funny.
Yeah.
Oh. Very
So many big names, and it's just that film looks trash.
Yeah, and like there's a specific type of kind of like the voice of the kid is the type of kind of slightly chavvy, neddy, whatever voice that bothered. Like I don't mind a lot of Scottish Ned voices, which I know some people like that's just nails on a chalkboard, but that kind of what are you saying, mate? Like that really.
What's this poison? No, it's a hungry. Get out! That is beast. I was like,
Just all of that looks just it sounds like bad acting. All like no matter how good.
In real life, it sounds like bad acting.
Exactly. Yeah. So that.
Oh well.
So there's that.
Yeah. Mark Ruffalo wants to be a Columbo. He wants to be Columbo in a Columbo movie.
Mm-hmm.
He's been talking to a writer friend of his. This all started with like a kind of
It was a joke, wasn't
an
it?
online joke from a guy we talked about before, Gary Witta, who's a screenwriter and video game enthusiast.
Yeah, who we have more sympathy for than
Yeah,
he
we
deserves.
like him a lot. He's good on Twitter as well, and he was talking about how they should make a Columbo movie and have Mark Ruffalo play Columbo because they kind of
Why do you
a wee bit like him. And
why do you have sympathy? What's his guy done?
He's friends with Bad Giant Bomb.
we frequent giantbomb.com. He's friends with them and for like a couple of their sites, and he's a funny guy.
Alright,
But he also has wrote some bad movies.
like what?
After Earth was the big one,
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah. But I think that was taken out. That was taken in Will Smith. Kind of was like making more about Jaden, pushing to the forefront.
Does he? Oh, this. I thought it was compromising the table's integrity. Does he ever talk about that in Giant Bomb? Like, does he talk about that movie and how bad it was?
He's not been on in a while. Probably because he's busy writing Star Wars and stuff.
I like
So I've never heard it brought up.
I like to see more directors do that. I mean, we talked about this before, but I really like watching when Kevin Smith talks about behind the scenes or his work or just the movie business in general when they talk about like what they do with a script or when people get involved and you're like, oh man, you think this guy's really cool, actually.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunately so many of them will have another, hopefully for them, 30, 40 years in that business that they can't come out yet and start.
No, that's fair enough.
themselves.
I mean, don't get me wrong, like, Kevin Smith is still making film. I mean, he's made, was it Tusk is coming out and he's wanting to make Clerks 3, which...
He's always kind of been his own man though, like kind of done his own stuff.
He kind of, I think he was lucky enough to be kind of under the Weinstein's wing, where he's given a lot of creative control and like Quentin Tarantino and like other filmmakers, like indie filmmakers at that time. It's like, no, you do your own thing, we like it, we'll distribute it, we'll finance it, that's fine. But in saying that, I know that the Weinsteins aren't they'll distribute Clerks 3, but they're not putting any money towards it.
We talked about that a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'd imagine as well for a lot of people, it is the really difficult thing where, I mean, we talk about a lot of things, like we talk about the studio execs against the writers, but I imagine for a lot of these people, they are like friends, or at least they like the people that they're all around with, and they just don't like the decisions that are being made. And that can be frustrating, but they don't want to come out and slag off people who they either consider, at least colleagues.
Yeah.
Sort of, you know.
No, there is that way, but then it's when you hear about, again, during, like, if you read, I mean, I can't remember, was it Pierre Biscuit's, it's not the Easy Riders Raging Bulls, it's Down and Dirty Pictures, it's called this, about the rise of Sundance. But, they, like, filmmakers like Guillermo del Toro and a few others talk about how movies were getting edited behind their back. Like they like Mimic. He was bullied by the Weinstein's. Copland, it was nearly a tragedy just because.
We spoke about that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like just when you hear about filmmakers, studio heads and filmmakers doing that, you're like, well, decisions get made that shit, but at least we've had a meeting about it and this is happening. Not we are completely changing your film without your consent and we're not even going to tell you about it.
Sometimes it must be so shit being a writer because like all people see is your name attached to something and then give you like all the blame or all the glory, like if it's good or bad. Like even when it's got something like 3 names attached to it, if your name's attached to it and that's a bad movie, that's like, well, that's you.
I'd say the director gets more of the flack. Like I can name a lot of directors, I think, but I can't name that many writers.
I would imagine
But,
that,
like,
I mean, just within the industry, for you, your standing in your next project, I'd imagine the people within that business know who you
But like,
are.
if I said there was a movie coming up and you're like, oh, who's writing it? And I told you a name, you're like, what have they done before? And I said, like, oh, I don't know.
Like Gary, what's it? After
So, yeah, after Earth, you're like, oh, it's probably going to be shit then. But, like,
Is it Lindelof that did Prometheus?
well, he was talking recently, he was saying, like, again, he was trying to bite his tongue, and obviously, because he wants to have a career, he was like, I came in and I wrote exactly what Ridley Scott asked me to write, and then everyone hates me for it. I was just doing a job that I got paid to do.
That's
More or less saying, blame Ridley Scott for that movie. Like,
Yeah,
I just got money.
which I do.
No, see, like, I would say, like we talked about this last week, Eddie Kruger's exactly the same. Michael Bay wants me to write this, so I'm going to write it. But at the same time, you kind of, it's that whole integrity thing. You're like, yeah, I know it's a job, but still, you still did that. You still wrote that, and
Wait,
you were.
like,
still,
are
It's
you-
different when it's Aaron Kruger who's done it 4 times, and it's like,
I know.
Are you
But for
also
me-
like? Do you think you're above that? Like, how much money would he get? Like, if somebody came to me and it was like, write a Transformers script that is absolute trash, and I will give you all the money.
well,
that's
that's
exactly-
exactly
like,
your
yeah,
future
if
prospects.
I mean, and I would say yeah, like, and I guess like most folk, but I mean, like, Tom, we're gonna give you 150 grand for a draft. Here you go, do this shit, and I'm like, yeah, because I don't care. But I would openly be like, yeah, man, I don't give a shit. They pay me money and I write shit. But see, this project, I really believe in it, and I will not settle for this. Whereas if this, whatever it would be.
How do you mean?
Well, we're not an exec. But yeah, but I'd be there much there, man. I did that for the money because, well, why not? It's the same as why a lot of, like, you see, like, John Malkovich in Transformers 3, he's there because he's getting a nice wee payday.
I don't even remember him in it. Is he one of the?
terrible.
Is he one of the
Bad
Transformers?
wig. He's a bad wig, and no, he plays like
He's like a
Shadow of
cliche
Boss.
Jewish kind of stereotype. But
Ken Young's in that movie as well.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, folk like character actors, same as I would say Giamatti and even Stanley Tucci gets away with it. We're like, yeah, these are really good actors, and like watching Amazing Spider-Man 2, I'm like, Giamatti's terrible, but I know that he's better than this, but he really is just there because, you know what, it's a nice wee payday.
Stanley Tucci comes out of Transformers 4 alright. He doesn't seem...
I think that's Stanley Tucci. though.
Yeah, I think
He's
he's
such a
really
really
guy,
trying,
yeah.
But it's more like, when
But
we
that's,
talk
I mean,
about-
it's a different thing between, I mean, actors, it's far easier for an actor to take, like, a fun little 3-month payday role
Yeah.
compared to a writer who, I mean, even if you want to talk about the fact, I mean, you know, Transformers is garbage. He is still spending a lot longer on that script than any actor is.
Yeah,
on-
it's like,
no,
you
I-
use
yeah,
Stanley
I
Tucci
think
for
with,
a
like,
good day's work.
Yeah, with actors, it's like, well, you know, Hollywood is what it is, and it's hard, it's tough, it's hard, and if you're going to be a character actor, you just kind of take what you can get just to build your profile. With, like, writers like Erin Kruger and Lindelof, it's more like, right, I want you to tell me what they've done that's good, and it's like, with certain writers, and I would say Lindelof's one of them, and saying that, he did World War Z, didn't he?
He did the end of World War Z.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's bad.
No, the end's the best part of that movie.
I disagree. But, like,
You guys?
whereas
I
with like Erin Kruger, it's just I'm like I've not seen your name attached to anything I care about. It's the same as those guys that make like epic movie and disaster
Man,
movie.
I'm so glad those things have died away.
I know, right? Let's just take a
I'm
moment to be
so
thankful for that.
glad.
I'm like, man, okay, these guys thrive on it. They obviously think they're funny and talented, and I'm like, no. I was like, no, this is despicable, and I can't believe they'll stand by it. It's like we were talking about the whole commentary. You get folk that are just plain delusional, like the commentary for Resident Evil Apocalypse, where Paul W. S. Anderson is comparing it to Aliens, and I'm like,
Have you seen Aliens?
Yeah, have you seen that movie? What are you talking about, kind of thing? And I just think, man, some folk are plain delusional, like, no, I'm making art and it's very good art.
Was it like the one that always comes to my mind? That is the guy who directed I want to say Van Helsing, but it used to be called Helsing.
No,
I know
it's
Van
not.
Helsing, Steven Summers.
Steven Summers.
Yeah.
Like so
Oh, the drama.
yeah, behind the scenes interview, I was like, the drama.
Yeah, you're like,
Are you kidding? Have you seen your own film? It's fucking pitiful.
yeah.
Well, back to the point, Mark Ruffalo is now actively campaigning to get a Columbo movie made.
Cool. I could do that.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo.
You know, Mark Ruffalo, yeah, he's a likable guy, he's a good actor. He's played a detective before, twice, that I can think of.
Yeah.
He's got the girl look, I can imagine. Yes.
Yeah, nice bit of stubble.
One more thing.
Nice kind of tough guy stubble, but really caring eyes.
yeah.
That's the perfect
Yeah,
combo.
he's
Dreamy, I'd say.
Yes.
He's kind of, would you say soft spoken?
Yeah.
When he's Bruce Banner, and even from what the little bits I've seen him begin again, he's very kind of like takes his time. He's, he's not like, I mean, but in saying that, Columbo was never shouty. Columbo was just probably just one more thing. He's just smart about it.
Yeah.
But always made out like he was really, really stupid.
Aye, but it was just, he played to their egos, and then they would tell them. Let me tell him, what detective do you think would you want to come after you when you were a serial killer?
Would I want to come after you?
Yeah.
Oh, like
a crap one?
No, but like as the serial killer, like you want the chase, you want the.
It's like the yin to your yang.
You've got like this really weird romanticised version of what a serial killer
No, but
is.
that's how they see
Do you think
themselves. though?
Harold Shipman did not want someone to come after him? Like, is it Jack? I think actually, is it Charles Manson?
Yeah.
Did not want someone to come after him.
No, he definitely wanted all the glory and all the.
I don't know, man. Like, really?
He wants to be like a rock star.
Yeah.
No one wants to get
like
caught.
Charles Manson thought he was like starting a race war.
Yeah, he thought he was like, what he was doing was for the greater good, like a lot of weird fucking
Peter
sociopaths.
Is that who you just said? Who did you just say? Peter
Harold
Tobin?
Shipman.
Okay,
That's it.
yeah, Peter Tobin then. He was one who
That's
did
right.
a lot of killing. He was caught recently-ish.
Right, you're into John Wayne Gacy, like all the classics.
Yeah.
You know?
Jeffrey Dahmer.
But like the good ones are the ones that don't get caught.
Zodiac.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go, right there.
Bringing it right back to Mark Ruffalo.
yeah.
Is that what,
Yeah, Columbo could have got the Zodiac killer.
was the
Yeah.
was the other time he was a detective that you could think of? Was that a Now You See?
Yeah, that was their thing. Yeah.
Let's not.
All right, okay. So you're saying you want a shit one. So what shit detective in fiction would you
Frank
want?
Drebin.
Yeah.
Oh man, I would let Frank catch you. I would absolutely let Frank catch you.
Clouseau.
Yeah.
No, John Candy and Who's Harry Crumb.
Okay. So Frank Drebin, Who's Harry Crumb,
Clouseau.
Clouseau.
Yeah.
I'd probably say, I don't know, maybe the cast of Dexter, because they
But
don't seem to know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah,
They're really dumb.
it's so easy to
all
outsmart.
dating each other all the time and just.
The
Yes.
entire Miami
Yeah.
crime department,
Yeah.
like the entire thing is just
Yeah. I mean, he's that convinced that they're so dumb, he doesn't even wear a mask when he's going out and does big crime recce.
not just that, like, I hate Dexter so much. Like, when one of his specific modus operandi things gets discovered that him injecting people with M66, which is like only a few people have access to, including vets and people in the police services, he still uses it. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, and how come no one else can catch you, you fucking idiot?
Would you like it if Rust caught you though and just sat you down and started talking about like philosophy?
See when Ross Cole says they're really hard on people who touch children in the prison. You'd probably kill yourself if you get the chance.
Yeah.
And he just walks away. Like,
Yeah.
fucking hell.
Yeah. He would dissect what you are, and then you'd just be like, God, I'm just going to kill myself.
I think we'd be pals.
Inspector Gadget.
No, but like he's got a
His daughter and the dog.
Is it Daisy and Brady?
Penny.
Ah, yeah.
So and didn't Clouseau always catch his man at the end, haphazardly?
Yes.
Yeah, it was always like an
I'm willing to
accident.
take that. I'm willing to
Yeah.
take that fun adventure. All the hijinks he'd get into in the.
Okay.
Anyways.
The Rock has been heavily hinting that he's going to be cast as Shazam in a DC movie.
I knew that. A few weeks ago, I knew that. I don't know, because Shazam's a bad name.
Yeah, it used to be called Captain Marvel until
Yeah.
Marvel.
Until some little
much
known
better
company.
name.
Yeah.
Shazam, I think we did talk about it because, like, not to be confused with the Shaquille O'Neal film Kazam, where he plays a genie. Yeah.
Is this the point where I brought up the fact that Shaquille O'Neal had a game called Shaq Fu that's got a sequel?
You did, yeah, you did.
But yeah, like someone was asking him about all his meetings with DC and stuff, and if anything ever came from that, and he was like, Oh, maybe we'll just have to wait a few weeks and see.
Let's just say
Did the
Shazam.
Did The Rock do that?
More or less.
Right. You'll
Did
probably.
he do that?
Oh dear. Paco just made the Hulk Hogan
He
arm.
did it on purpose. He did it on purpose. He does it. He does it to engage a reaction, but you're not around him a lot to have that. He did it on purpose.
But yeah, Shazam's terrible name. Apparently Shazam's an anagram for like all the different sources of power, like H is for Hercules.
Sexiness,
Yeah, misogynist. Right?
happiness.
H is for Hercules.
Yeah, hold on, I was trying
An
to
anagram is when the word
Sorry.
rearranges to make another word.
acronym. Is
Yeah,
what
that's
I
what.
meant to
That's
say,
what I was
sorry.
like. Yeah, menage is the secret power of everything.
Shiva, Hercules, Hades, Zeus.
Sorry, took Family really liked his own joke there.
Well, I was more like Paco laughing at him because it's funny.
They are S for the wisdom of Solomon,
Good,
H
classic.
for the strength of Hercules,
Ability.
A for the stamina of Atlas, Z for the power of anybody,
Zeus.
A for the courage of Achilles, and M for the speed of
Mercury.
Mercury. So there you are. Well, I didn't know that. It's still a shit name. Yeah.
Don't know who's Mercury.
It's a pretty fast planet.
Classic.
It's
I wanna
Mercury,
say-
Mercury Greek god.
Yeah.
But like,
No, like, no,
Roman god, sorry, Roman god.
Is not a like I know that Mars is like the god of war, but I think Mercury is like a god of war as well, but like for like a different.
The different war.
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Like, is it like
No, because it's speed there, so surely
It's the war of speed. The speed war.
Speed
Yeah, the speed
the
wars.
god of speed?
Oh yes.
Find out who Mercury is.
I just said he's a Roman god.
Roman
Of
god.
what?
Yeah, of
Oh my god. Good god, Genji.
Speed wars.
The one thing you want to know is A, where they come from, B, what of.
Okay, comes from Rome,
Good, thank you.
and he is the patron god of financial gain, commerce, and eloquence. Well, there you are.
it's a modern day war.
Also, travelers, boundaries, luck, trickery, and thieves.
I use
So I
that.
guess
What an
it's a shady dude.
He's a silver gentleman as well.
Yeah, made of pewter.
Yeah, oh, yep, that's it. That's it.
But anyway, that's what the Rock's up to. Universal are talking about creating a series of movies with a shared universe for all their kind of classic monsters, like the Mummy and the Wolfman,
Oh,
and
yeah,
Dracula
yeah.
and all that sort of stuff.
That was called Van Helsing.
Well, let's
Don't
hope
do
they
it.
can.
Don't do it.
Written by Alex Kurtzman and Chris Morgan. See what I mean?
No,
See what I mean?
No.
Poor guy. Could be a brilliant writer.
See, like how are you the same as me? Where like you just don't know these names?
Him
I mean, like-
and Roberto Orci have wrote a bunch of shit.
Now you see me.
Oh, those are the guys. They
Star
split
Trek,
Star Trek.
yeah,
yes,
split up
yes.
recently, so
Yeah.
this will be the time when we find out which one was the shit one, because they've just split up and they both might do different things. So,
What happens if both the movies are shit?
here, well then they don't have it. But here's what the other guy, Chris Morgan, has written Fast 7,
Okay.
47 Ronin, which you like,
Okay.
Fast 6, Fast 5,
Yeah. All the facts.
Fast and Furious 4, Wanted,
So good dialogue.
So loads of cars.
Wanted
Wanted
cars.
was pretty wank though.
I thought Wanted was alright. It was really silly, but kind of I knew it was silly. The Vatican tapes, which I think was that stupid horror movie?
Yeah,
Found
it was.
footage.
Oh,
Yeah.
the one that
Yeah.
they didn't want you to
Oh wait, no,
see.
sorry, this is an upcoming one. It's not out yet.
No.
We're thinking of the last Exorcism.
No,
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 no.
You'll see files.
That's what I'm thinking of. That was the last Exorcism, wasn't it? The Rossi Files,
No,
where it doesn't have an ending. It just comes up on the webpage.
that
Yeah.
wasn't Last Exorcism. Last
No,
Exorcism.
no, it was the Rossi files. Was the one.
The last Exorcism, like, am I not right? It ends with a burning.
Yeah, yeah.
So
with the-
The one I'm thinking of with the Rossi Files.
Rossi files was the one that didn't have an ending. You had
Yeah.
to go to the website for it.
But that's not the name of the movie, though.
I don't think that's what. No, yeah, it's not the name of the film.
Devil's.
Devil Inside.
Yes!
Devil Inside, man.
Thanks, Paul.
Oh, when we all do it
The
together.
boss.
Oh no, that's what it's based. That's the kind of story that it's based on.
That might have been the website.
I think it was off the website. Anyway,
Fuck
Are
you,
you
close.
so
I
yeah,
want in Connecticut.
so the
Sorry, what was the film?
it was what film?
That
That
was
was
guys do.
the Vatican something or other.
No, what was the
No,
first thing?
it's
What was the
not-
news that you
Yeah.
It
told
was about the
the,
writers.
the Universal.
Oh, the monsters,
the
yeah,
monster
okay.
movies, yeah. Starting with the Mummy. The Mummy's the first one.
Yeah.
What ifs?
Well,
And then they'll team up in the end and fight the Chitauri.
So
I don't know.
good. Cthulhu.
Yeah.
did you? That's the only Stephen Sommers movie I liked was the first Mummy. I remember enjoying it as
Oh,
a kid. I'd imagine if I watched it now, I'd probably like that's good as shit.
The second one was.
That was shit. even, and I think no, the first one might still be alright because I was only what 2 years later, and I knew that was shit. And then Van Helsing came out like this is
Was
worse.
Hank Azaria in that? In the second one?
Probably.
The Power Rangers movie has some rails. They are Ashley Miller and Zach Stentz, who both worked on the first Thor movie and X-Men First Class.
That's a pretty impressive.
Yeah, right. So maybe Power Rangers will be
And do you know
not
what?
terrible.
Do you know what they probably were? Giant Power Rangers fans.
Yeah, they're probably of that age. But I don't know. I just can't conceive how you can do Power Rangers without it being just terrible. Like if they do make it dark and grey, that'll be stupid because it's the Power Rangers.
I mean, yeah, it's called Power Rangers. Unless Power Rangers : Dark and Grey. There you are.
Okay, I'm on board.
And like the Zords are a needle.
Jelly boots.
Yeah.
That's all I've got for the Power Rangers news. So let's get some reviews.
We are running an hour at the moment, so
That's fine. Half an hour for reviews.
Oh yeah, okay.
Loads of time. Let's begin. Hey,
At
right?
the very start.
Let's begin again.
Oh really?
That was the joke I was making for. Where did you think it was going?
Like with Boyhood, because
No.
you would start with the youngest. You'd also start with the older films.
I suppose we should start with Boyhood for that reason. You're right.
But you've now already announced begin again.
We've already talked about Boyhood, so
Yeah, people were kind of like, like
Oh,
you want to leave the
we
most
are
time
now
for
on
the
the
new
edge
films.
of their seats
Just
as to what we're going to talk
What
about
is
first.
that? It's like you talked about to do what you wanted to do, and you're like, no, actually, just go back.
Okay, let's do Boyhood then. Since
Thank
that is a week old. You and Paco saw it last week.
Pretty great, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was excellent. The more I thought about it afterwards, the more I liked it.
There was a quote, sorry, from Richard Linklater. I'm just going to interrupt your review to talk about my review some more. We'll begin again. We'll start again.
Nice.
There was a quote that I saw where he talked about like he tries to write movies that aren't really about like scenes you don't walk away being like, oh, that was brilliant, this line was great, and it's more about how you feel. And that was like,
That is
I
it.
get it.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Even with like the before films as well.
School of Rock.
yeah,
Sure,
absolutely.
it's-
Yeah,
it's not-
yeah.
Okay.
So, do you know what I found out? Like I knew he had written some, he had directed some weird films that all his films are really just sporadic and he just listed whatever he wants. And even like School Rock, I like School Rock a lot, but it's not really the kind of thing you expect him to do. So he also did Bad News Bears. That was the one I forgot.
I don't know what that is.
Is that the one with
Billy Bob
the...
Thornton plays it's like a baseball team, I think. They're all kids.
I've not seen
It
that.
was supposed to be
I remember
terrible.
I didn't see it, but I remember being in
It was like a
cinema.
total kids film. Like
But yeah, I mean, I know you like School of Rock, but for the kind of director Richard Linklater is, that's for me like he doesn't. For me, he's like, just don't do mainstream stuff. Just do what you do. Like, I mean, Scanner Darkly, really good. Boyhood, very good.
Scanner Darkly was kind of mainstream.
I mean, it had mainstream actors, but it was very fucking like out there with a lot of what was going on.
it's pretty out there.
Uh,
That was the film that made me notice him.
But in saying that, like, I mean, like you like Waking Life, I don't. And again, that is very much Linklater playing his strengths.
I think like you should watch Waking Life again. Like you didn't like it at the time, and you said this yourself because it felt you were getting lectured.
Yeah.
Like I think if you were watching it again, you'd maybe.
I just never. There wasn't really a plot. I just felt like a 2-hour lecture about different folks, like
The
opinions on,
philosophy
like,
of consciousness.
yeah, things like that. And I'm like, that's cool, but like, I don't know why. Where's the plot, the drama, the tension, the story arc of the characters?
Now that you've seen all these other movies that he's
Yeah.
done that also don't really have plots.
I don't know. Like, I mean, that's fair enough. It's not there's little plot. But there's a lot of like character drama and tension between people, and a lot like things like that. There's more kind of cinematic elements to those films. Whereas with Waking Life, I didn't really know why it was a film. I was like, I
I
don't know.
loved it. So it was really good.
I've not seen it. But so Boyhood.
Sorry.
First of all, it is really long. It is really, really long. And there was points where I thought it was going to end, and it went out a bit longer.
Mhm.
And it wasn't that I thought the scenes that were after when I thought it should have ended. I don't think they were bad scenes. In fact, I thought they were actually really good scenes. But there was still that one point where I was like, that would have been a good ending. Like specifically the bit I was saying to Tommy, the bit when he is Ethan Hawke's friend who has the band at the end of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's talking to his dad about, and he actually said, what's the point? What's the point of it all?
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke's like, what kind of question's that? I can answer that. And he says, this song is for this boy over here who's not a man, and he plays a song for him. I thought, end it there. That's like the whole.
Yeah,
that encompasses the whole meaning of the movie.
I agree.
Then it goes on.
It was very Return of the Kingsy. Like you're like, okay, no, it's not. It's not done now. There's more.
But then after that, I really liked that scene in the restaurant with her mum and the waiter, and then I really liked the stuff when he goes off to college.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then he played that song, and it was like, oh, it was great.
The very end was excellent. It was a really good way to end it. But I agree with you. I thought it was excellent. It may end up being one of the movies of the year.
I'd probably.
But I felt like I was in there for 5 hours because there's times where I was like, man, I get that there's the whole right. We watch a show as much like in terms of like he was this age and I was this age, this age, whatever. But I thought they could have cut a lot of it out because there was moments where I'm like, right, I get it, but this is not getting to that place quick enough. It just seems to be lingering on loads of things. Like you said, you thought that was the appropriate time. At one point, there was a bit where he graduates from high school and he gets a picture taken with his family, and I was like, yeah, have that as the end. That's a great shot. Like, there you go. But then it's not, no, we're going to keep going. And then he goes to college, like, right, okay, all right, he's on a trip. Okay, and then it ended. I was like, that was a really good end scene. I think, because you said, Paul, last week, Linklater had already thought about the very last shot at the start of this project. And it's good. I just think at times he doesn't get there quick enough. But what I really liked about it was my biggest fear in saying that, when I talked to both people with your reviews last week, kind of squashed that anyway, but still thought that this film is going to be based on a gimmick. And where's the substance going to be?
But it was based on a
gimmick.
gimmick.
But you forget that. Like, so
but yeah, it's not, that's not just, right, this film was filmed over 12 years of this boy going up, look at this, isn't this great? But Linklater, being the smart writer-director he is, there is so much substance in it. Like all the interactions with the husbands, the kind of the family drama there. There was loads of times where decisions were made like by Patricia Arquette, and I'm like, oh, I can't believe you did that, or why is that? Why did that happen?
What did you think of her in it?
I thought she was excellent. I thought Ethan Hawke was excellent. Everybody was good. Everybody was good.
The only part of the movie that I thought should have been cut, like not only it could have been cut, but I thought like should have not been in the movie, was the scene where I think he's about 13 or 14 and he's hanging with some friends and there's two older guys there who are seniors and they're talking. They're just being like just really obviously like crude and stuff, and they all just, none of them were good actors. Like they were all just too young.
The wee boy that stood up for himself.
He was alright. Yeah. But I just thought that whole scene just didn't teach you anything about Mason.
The one thing that really stood out was, for me, was the kind of popping back up of the drainage worker, which
I really like that.
It was very cinematic compared to
the
world, but it was like because there was that. It's the one moment.
But, like her reaction to that was also really just strange. Like she looked more offended than anything else.
Well, I think that was because at that point she's thinking that. It's just reinforcing the fact that our son's about to leave and that she doesn't have anything else to go on now. Like, that this guy went and made something of his life and he has this whole future ahead of him. Same with the son and his daughter, and now she's just like...
The thing is, Patricia Arquette's character does do that, though. She starts off in a really kind of, it's a very kind of poor place, and it's like, oh man, and then she kind of gets her life together. But then when her character is kind of finished in the film, you're just like, her final kind of thoughts about when the last time you see her, I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah, it's a massive bummer.
It's like,
imagine the last
shit. I was like, yeah, I was like, God, I was like, it's kind of want to give her a cuddle. I was like, no, it's not that way at all. But no, it just, again, it was very.
Look at you, Mason's fourth LP then.
Again, I was like, again, just because I do this anyway, I was watching the film, I was like, so the thing I've learned from this is that they're normal till they get with her and then they become alkies. Because it was just, okay, he became an alcoholic, and then this guy's really cool. Like, no, there's the booze. It's now he's at a point now in this relationship with her where he can't take it.
She turns men to drink.
Yeah, but that's
so horrible.
No, again, this is me just being funny in my head. I was like, no, but again, excellent. She was excellent in it. It was a film. There was again not a lot happening. It was more just you watch the progression. Well, I say not a lot happening. That's not fair. A lot of progression of this guy's life and his sister. And again, she was really good. Linklater's daughter, I thought, was excellent in it. But it's more their chats, their interactions, their dialogue, everything about those questions you've contemplated, those things you've talked to friends about and family about. Again, he just spot on.
He also does I don't think I mentioned this last week as well. But in the Before trilogy, like he makes a good, like well, he manages even to make the city he's in like a good kind of character in itself. Like when he's in Vienna and Paris and wherever it is in Greece, I can't remember.
Papadopoulos.
But yeah, like in this one, like he makes like Houston and Boston, not Boston.
Well, just
Dallas.
he makes Texas.
It makes it all look really interesting and worth visiting. And all that I've seen about where Ethan Hawke and him go camping. And like
that was really great.
Rock pools look
again.
great,
how great is it when he's like, "Jake, we'll make another Star Wars film." It's like, oh wow, man.
Like it took me a second to remember. Like, oh wait,
that was like,
they didn't know at that point. Yeah, that was when that news got announced, they must have. Richard Linklater must have thought, well, what if we put that scene in now? That was
Also, don't think I mentioned last week about how weird it is that they purposefully put bits in to date the film, like they'll show you
Dragon Ball Z and
Game Boy
songs and stuff.
different tunes,
But like at the time, they wouldn't have known they were purposely
No,
dating the
they
film.
would. They absolutely.
I think so.
They absolutely would.
If he's known, okay,
popular culture is here.
Oh,
at
well,
this
yeah,
point in
this
time.
over the course of 12
Yeah.
years. This is what we've got now.
Yeah, not to date it like to make it as in like in a pejorative sense to be like, oh, it looks old and bad.
no, like
Just
something
to, just feel like
This is where they're at.
yeah, for that reason. Yeah, like even like they're playing Halo 2 at one point.
Yeah.
And yeah, stuff like that. Like even they have like the big Apple Macs with the big powerful backs on them and stuff.
When I seen that, I immediately thought of Zoolander. It's in the computer. But yeah, again, those were all clever transitions. So time's passed. We're here now.
Like all the music in it.
He's good at that though, isn't he? He's someone that just.
That was really good for giving me an idea of when it was as well. Like I found myself going, okay, that Kingsley Amis song came out in 2007, so I guess he must be about 14 at this point.
And so it was just all the way. It was just going. They're going to bring up 9/11. That's when
They did.
It started after 9/11.
Yeah.
They did bring one.
Wait, after 9/11.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
when.
2002.
Something like that.
2002.
12 years.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
Because he talks about how, like Ethan Hawke talks to his kids about who you can vote for, and he's like,
Yeah.
Again, all those chats were, but like, see when they were, I really enjoyed it when they were bowling, because I think it's twice they go bowling, and it's when he's talking to, Ethan Hawke's talking to his daughter about a boy that she likes and all that, and just how she's getting, it looks as if she's genuinely getting embarrassed, like
Well, her dad right behind the camera.
And I think it's what Linklater probably says, right, she's going out with this boy, so ask her all these questions, and it's like, but I won't tell her you're going to
And then just the perfect time for that one to show up.
Yeah.
Because it was his turn to be all
Coy.
All the bits, I thought all the bits with Ethan Hawke were like the best bits in the movie. I think he just has like a really good natural approach to like selling Richard Linklater's dialogue and working with those kids as well. He was just really good at it. And that scene in the car I really liked when he was like, I want you to have a real conversation with me and stuff.
Yeah.
That was very, very well done. And I like how the kids kind of had their own say, oh no, well you have to do this. I mean, we've talked about it before with other Richard Linklater movies that you do just forget that they're actors reading dialogue because it always seems so natural. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was lived up to the hype that you said, like the kind of pedestal that you put on, and even like you look in the poster, 5 stars that won the Silver Berlin.
You can totally understand how a lot of people would come out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's not a movie for everyone.
Yeah,
like one of our friends in work was in seeing it last night with her boyfriend, and I was like, she said, "Oh, you said it was really good," and I was like, "Yeah, I said it was really good, but
no,
I don't think you'll like it at all."
It's the same friend because I was like, she's like, "Yeah, it looks really good." I'm like, "Do you?" I was like, again, because I made fun of her because the only 2 films that I've ever seen that she ever talks about was they happened to go set in a jail, and I'm like, "You won't like it. It's not set in a jail." But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised because she's like, "I don't know if I liked it or not."
You spoke to her since?
Yeah, she's like, I watched it and I was like, yeah, so you like it? She's like, I don't know. I really don't know. And she's like, it was long, but I don't know what to make of it. I was like, because it's not a film that you probably would watch normally.
Linklater said that his approach to it was like every year, like more or less just film like a 15-minute short film, like about what's happening in this boy's life. So none of it's like these big moments or anything like that. It's all just like a snapshot in time, which is great because it works for that, like what you guys were saying, like signifying like when it takes place. It is a total like, it's as if it's like a period piece, but like it was actually shot then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like a time capsule is the word I'm looking for. It's a great time capsule of looking at just what things really were like 12 years ago, and there's nothing false about it or whatever. That was really, from the music and like technology and.
It was a good snapshot of what it was like through the eyes of a middle-aged white man in America.
But there's even scenes where he specifically says to the kid, the director had said to the kid, I just want you to just talk about things that you're actually interested in. Like when he says, top 3 movies of the year was Dark Knight, Pineapple Express, and Thunder.
She doesn't like any of those.
Yeah, like that was his own opinions. Yeah, and then he says like, well, what is she interested in? No, going to all our stupid friends.
Hanging out with our stupid friends.
So yeah, that's like totally something like a kid would do. It's a great film for like working in cinema. Like you have to like see bits of films out of context every so often. That's like the perfect film for that because it is all just like little vignettes almost, and you can just drop in whenever, and it'll probably be a great scene.
Yeah, you get some kind of sort of punchline to it and walk out.
Yeah, again, because it's all short films, like every kind of era has its kind of emotionally impactful moment, and then so you're seeing them all together.
Yeah,
it's like just that take 12 times over.
I really like that scene. Just like my last thoughts on it anyway. Like that scene where he's got the nail varnish on, and like I forget which drunk dad.
That's the kind of army one.
Like how just kind of non-committal about it. He's like, some girl put it on me at school and I just haven't bothered taking it off. And he's fine with it. Like I love that. Like
I love that scene.
Mason's just such a good character.
That scene in the dark room as well when the teacher comes in and he's kind of giving him a hard time, but
the prep talk as well.
Yeah,
and like it's nice that he kind of admits to sort of like, I want like in 15 years time you look back and like at this conversation like he's aware that he's trapped in a movie doing a very movie thing, but it's delivered in such a non-movie way.
The thing back to that great darkroom chat.
Good job, Richard Linklater.
Make more movies.
Next week you'll have one we've not earlier.
So, do you want to tell us about the beginning again now,
Yeah,
Paul?
so you know what? You've earned your way. Finally. It's a new movie by a guy who I'm going to just tell you, John Carney, who did Once from a couple of years ago. You might remember that.
What was that?
It was like a schmaltzy rom-com.
Is that the one with Anne Hathaway, or is that One Day I'm thinking of?
I think that was One Day. That had some handsome male. Both of them had nice females and handsome males. I think Once had Keira Knightley as well.
Alright, okay.
The only reason I remember that is because I convinced two old ladies to go and see it by saying to them, like, well, I don't know if I'll go and see it. And I said, probably going to get the chance to fall in love once. And they were like, whoa!
Fucking hell.
Jeez. 2 from athletes, premierships. I was like, boom. Enjoy.
No, I'm not going to finish that sentence.
Thank you, that's very good. Yeah. But it stars Anne Hathaway opposite Man of Colombo.
No, it doesn't.
Keira Knightley. Sorry. Stars Keira, like, why do you have to bring her up?
Sorry.
Stars Keira Knightley opposite Mark Ruffalo, where Keira Knightley is a musician in New York. She moved there for her boyfriend Adam Levine, who has consequently dumped her and left her. Yeah, oh, what an asshole. He's dumped her and left her kind of abandoned. She kind of meets her friend, chubby guy who is a comedian.
Chris Farley.
James Corden.
Thank you. Yeah. Who's also like one of these kind of weird, like he plays an Englishman and Keira Knightley plays an English person and Adam Levine plays an English person.
Adam Levine plays an English person?
I think so.
I don't think he's English.
I don't know.
I suppose his accent was just.
Oh, maybe. I don't know, right?
You're the king of English accents, though.
Did he sound like Laura?
Yes.
Oh shit, Laura's not here. Yeah, Laura was in Wales and she's like mega sunburnt and stuff, and she's all tired, so that's why she's not here.
Well,
continue.
James Corden has also separately moved to New York, but him and Keira Knightley know each other and they run into each other, and that's kind of weird.
Is he very kind of loud and?
No, he's like, I was blown away by how good he was. He's just like the friendly, kind of charming, like lovable comedic relief, but does like a really, really good job of it. Just not too hammy, not too over the top, not too.
I was going to say I thought he might have been very kind of. Is he just Smithy from Gavin and Stacey? Like like you said, how he's the.
Never watched Gavin and Stacey.
Well, he's very much just like a lad, like an Essex lad, but he's a nice guy, and it's just he's very kind of loud and in your face and a larger life character, that kind of thing.
No, just like lovable best friend, just like supportive guy.
Okay.
Just a very simple role, but like delivered with a good amount of charm, which is the kind of big thing for this movie. Is just like everybody delivers their stuff with charm. Anne Hathaway meets Mark Ruffalo.
No, she doesn't.
Fucking damn it! Keira Knightley meets Mark. Anne Hathaway will meet Mark Ruffalo. And he's like this down and out record producer who's about to get fired from his massive studio that he started himself with.
Another Most Def.
Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah. I knew for some reason.
No, sorry, it was Anne Hathaway.
Yes, kind of. And they decided to record an album together by going around and recording it outside in New York to kind of pick up all the ambient sound. Ambient, is that the word to use for New York?
Yeah.
The loud.
Yeah. Exactly. Hey, where are we going? What girls on?
Noise pollution.
And it's just kind of adventure following them and her kind of will she, won't she go back to Adam Levine.
No.
He's
the worst.
I keep hearing that Avril Lavigne.
Yeah.
All I'm hearing.
Yeah, what's that
They just break each other, just both so twiggly. And you know, like I went in thinking it was going to be really terrible. I went and just like the trailer didn't look great, it didn't sell it very well. It looked like a kind of very shitey rom-com-y, schnapsy.
This time before we go with that Pierce Brosnan movie, remember?
Yeah,
you were like, you loved it.
Love is now. Love is all around.
Love is all you need is love. Yeah, I believe in a thing called love.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good. It was like I was also worried that we kind of go into that kind of slightly. I forgot what the word is.
Anne Hathaway.
Yup. Thank you. Like a certain type of humour and kind of style, like Juno.
Oh yeah.
Sarcastic.
I know what you mean. That kind of like.
Just really so kind of sweet.
Twee? Is that what you
Twee? Yeah, Twee. I'll take Twee. And like Twee kind of has quite. This doesn't work as well as the word.
Mumblecore?
Yes.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, I wonder if Juno was her making like quippy remarks like every 2 seconds. Like.
No, there was like a very kind of.
She was very much all the lols and all that.
I showed somebody computer chess at the weekend, which is by the director from the grandfather of Mumblecore, and I sold this to them, and Danny said, "You're a complete art wanker. You're a movie wanker." It's really horrible to hear.
She said that to you?
Yeah.
From your SO.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Why would that make you?
OTP?
Why does that make you a movie wanker?
She was just
You are though.
taking shit.
I think like we could. It's at the point where we all are.
Yeah. It's great.
And the
I
same
mean,
way like
podcast.
those guys who like do nothing but drink wine all the time become wine wankers.
Yeah.
You know.
No, it was really good. It wasn't twee, instead quaint. It's like nothing.
Is that because it's English people in it?
I think
Is that
so,
the only
like,
difference?
I think because Keira Knightley was quite likeable, and I think she is one of the most. Yeah, exactly. Like I think she is a terrible screen presence. I think she's somebody you just want to.
There was a show that came out this week for a movie called Laggies with Keira Knightley and Chloe Moretz and Sam Rockwell. Yeah, so it was pretty good. I mean, Sam Rockwell goes a long way to making that likeable. But she's really fine in it.
Yeah, because it's like when you were listing the names, like, Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I saw something yesterday when I was seeing again with Chloe Moretz in it, and it looked.
Is that thing where she dies and then she's a ghost?
Like it's one movie and then suddenly like quite a long way into that trailer already. It just
she becomes a ghost.
Yeah.
Was she in Hugo?
Yeah. She was together with Hugo.
Yeah. No, I mean, you have to see it. Probably not. If you like these kind of rom-com-y, fall in love. The one quite interesting thing to do is it play with time quite a lot in like quite fun ways. Where like the first scene is Keira Knightley playing a song.
Is it when she was a kid and they did over 12 years?
Yes, yeah. Keira Knightley's playing a song, and you kind of see this scene from her point of view, and then suddenly sort of you go back to Mark Ruffalo's day, leading up to him seeing her in the bar.
I like stuff like that.
And so that works quite well, because sort of after she finishes the song, she rushes off stage, and you cut to the audience, and suddenly just at the very front is Mark Ruffalo clapping like crazy, like and it's just this kind of creepy sort of Slender Man type figure, and then you see like where he came from, and that's the stuff they kind of do different flashbacks, and you learn more about the characters through all that, and it works well.
Good. I really like stuff like that.
Yeah, but nice.
I like Mark Ruffalo and I like music, and I don't care. Like, he's not terrible.
A lot of the songs are good, and like Yeah, a lot. Of, yeah.
I like New York as well.
Haley Steinfeld's in it, and she does like
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld. Yes,
Jerry
Jerry
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld is in it as Mark Ruffalo's daughter.
All right.
He's always saying, "What's that all about?"
His famous catchphrase.
Yeah.
One of the same
And she's alright. You know, where I think she's been not great in a lot of her recent
Well, she's
stuff.
not. I mean, she was in the Kevin Costner action film that I saw. What was it called?
3 Days to Kill.
3 Days to Kill.
She was also in that movie with Halle Berry, The Call.
Oh shit!
Didn't really do much apart from
I was
lying
gonna say, like,
lying
yeah.
about.
Is she kind of done?
And she's done.
Ender's
Oh,
Game.
okay.
Is that her Ender's Game?
Is her?
No.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
Is
sorry,
her?
I'm getting mixed up.
She's an.
I'm thinking of.
Claymore.
I'm thinking of.
And Hathaway.
Sorry.
Oh, Abigail Breslin.
Abigail Breslin.
Yeah.
What
I'm thinking
you've all lost me now. Was Keira Knightley in Ender's
Yeah, she was the bald one, the bald old man.
Game? Tattoos.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's alright.
Who was in Ender's Game?
Haley Steinfeld.
Seinfeld.
She's in True Grit.
Like, why are we talking about her?
Because she's in this movie.
She plays Mark Ruffalo's daughter,
Right.
Not Jerry Seinfeld.
Jerry Seinfeld.
That was a
That
was a funny joke we
I
had.
think that's where I was derailed.
I seen you could have stayed in, and I was like, he's thinking.
He's gone. In a couple of months' time, we'll probably watch this film and I'll want to talk about it, and I'll be like, you know, Paul reviewed that, right?
I was just really angry Jerry Seinfeld, wasn't it?
So, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is the big movie of the week, which we've all saw, yeah.
Andy Serkis does it again.
Are we all?
Is he every ape?
No, they all.
Yeah.
Like they all have like.
Every ape I see, from chimpanzee to chimpanzee.
He's Gary Oldman. He just did it all.
Are we all in agreement that the movie was pretty brilliant?
I really enjoyed it.
Do you know, like, it opened on the shot from the trailer of him with his hand up, and immediately I was just like, I'm fucking jazzed. This is, I am in, let's go. I thought the movie was pretty brilliant overall. Yeah.
I think pretty brilliant is too strong.
Okay, but did you like it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, some of my thoughts, first of all, I thought it was very brave and bold of like a mainstream Hollywood, all intents and purposes, summer blockbuster to, for the first 20 minutes, have no actual actors on screen, have all the digital characters, have them not be speaking at all, and have them sign language with subtitles for like 20 minutes. And then, like, every so often throughout the film, like, I'd say about half the film is like no dialogue, it's just like apes signing to each other and stuff.
Well, they prove that people are up for that.
But no, like, there's maybe a tiny bit of it in the first movie. Oh, sorry, Wall-E, did you say?
Yes, yeah.
There will be blood.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, but
There Will Be Blood is definitely an exception
Yeah.
to...
that wasn't, the family market going to see There Will Be Blood.
Come on,
Everything you want to know about oil.
But like, where do we go from now for making digital characters? Like, that is incredible.
There's improvement to be made. There's definitely improvement to be made.
I can't see it.
Like Paco and me chatted about this. I thought for most of it was excellent. But like Paco did say every now and then, like, there's a bit of the deers, like, yeah, they'll do it ropey, whatever. But I remember, like, coming out of it, and you're like, man, did they use real apes?
I think something must have used.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's like, see the bit where, like, the orangutan walks up to the tent with the
It's
boy.
always the orangutan that made me think, that's
Like,
so good.
Like the top half of that must have been a guy in a suit, and then they must have just CG'd the legs.
Or sometimes you see like close-ups on hands and stuff. It must be you wearing like gloves or something like.
But yeah, like,
so
like for a lot of it, the CGI was absolutely top notch. The same as it was in the first film, it was also really good in that as well. Every now and again, it was kind of like, that didn't look quite right.
I think it's only when they do stuff that apes wouldn't naturally do that I kind of think.
No, you see, that was, again, I'm nitpicking, but that was one of the things that annoyed me is sometimes when, and it's going to sound really silly, when their interactions were too human-like.
But I think that is just because you are not used to seeing an ape actually do stuff like that. That's why you are fully aware that it's not real.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just like when Caesar's son and his pal Ash are having a chat via sign language, and it's just very much, hey, I would do this and whatever. And they were kind of acting like, to me, I was like, maybe it's the subtitles, the way they're talking is very like, American teenager kind of thing or whatever, or just a teenager in general. I was like, was it poor choice of words or that I just sketchy? And then there's a couple of bits where I'm like, again, like, where are they learning that from, kind of thing? Just in terms of like what some stuff Koba does, where I was like, right. I mean, again, I can't say
Koba looked fantastic.
excellent. Yeah, but there's times where Koba did certain things where I was like, okay, you've had a gun for how long? And
Yeah, but they're not idiots.
no,
I mean,
I
they're
know.
not only not idiots, but they're like
Yeah.
super intelligent.
If you saw someone shoot a gun and you picked
There's-
up a gun,
there-
you would know
alright,
how to shoot a
Without
gun.
really saying anything, there's an instant where Koba is like an amazing shot, and he's only
He's only like 10 feet away. I
I
can shoot you from 10
He
feet.
also doesn't do a good job at actually shooting them
Yeah,
dead.
he wants to kill him.
no, but at the same time, I was like, that's very kind of that was well taken.
I could take you out from 10 feet away.
Yeah,
If
I
you were
know
standing
could,
still.
but you've played games. You've maybe helped like
He's a hunter. He's
Yeah.
like a trained hunter.
Yeah,
You
that's-
saw him
yeah.
kill a bear with a stick.
It's not. It's more like okay, you're using this piece.
I don't
this
have a
piece
problem
of
with that.
hardware. I did because I was like, no, like I mean,
Like-
that seemed very quick and accurate given the circumstances.
I'm
You know,
so
things
glad
like that.
my mind caught up with what I was about to say.
But yeah,
So glad
But
I saw
again-
myself shortly.
again, I am nitpicking because I thought it was very good.
I suppose we should like talk generally about the
Right,
film,
the
like,
plot,
take
right?
people
Yeah,
to-
give a quick
Sequel to
synopsis.
The Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which is the reboot of the Planet of the Apes franchise. It takes place 10 years after the fact. Most, like everyone from the first film, apart from Andy Serkis, has died from the simian flu.
Yeah.
The apes have relocated to the woods just outside of San Francisco, where they've started like a whole population of like
Colony.
hundreds of apes that are all equally as intelligent as Caesar. They've learned to like form a little society and stuff, and they're getting on just fine without all the humans. Meanwhile, in San Francisco, they have like lost contact with the outside world. They have no power or anything.
Mhm.
They think they don't know what's happened to they know that they are alive because they must be immune because it's been 10 years. So they're not going to die from the flu. So they try to get power back because they're on the verge of like dying. So they go into the woods to try and find this dam that will bring power back to the city, and that's when
It's
they
in
have
territory.
contact with
Yeah.
the apes for the first time in like since they were big
2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where the conflict arises because
That's when things happen.
some people don't trust the apes, some people don't trust the humans.
The humans need the power.
The
Yeah,
apes.
it's like should we let them
Caesar
all
has
Yeah.
has a kind of weak spot for humans
Yeah.
because he was raised so well by James
Yeah.
Franco.
Like this is the great thing with this movie. I think like every single character is justified and validated in everything they do. I thought
Yeah.
like there's no point where you're like, well,
one
why do they use this or this is your reason? It's
well,
like
one character.
No, even the one you're talking about, like they justify it. There's a sentence in the film. Like Tommy's talking about. There's a guy who shoots an ape,
Yeah.
and then they bring him back with him the second time.
Oh,
But
he's a subject.
Because he's the only one
They
who's
make a
water.
point of saying he's the only one who knows.
Ah,
or
right.
is it-
I must have missed that because that really bothered me in
Yeah.
a sense. I was like, right, so he's there further
Yeah.
along the plot.
But then it still becomes a plot hole though because he gets forcibly removed, and they still manage to get the dam working.
Well,
Yeah,
again,
so it's like seen it and maybe
Yeah, but
chatted
that
about
I
it or
think
whatever.
they've assessed the situation. They
Yeah.
probably know how they're going to go about it. And
Yeah.
also, they don't have a choice at that point.
Spoilers: the dam gets working.
yeah, but again, this is a good for me. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is a very good example of if you even Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I remember thinking that was going to be shit. It's a reboot of an old franchise. It's there for money and it's going to be crap. Who cares? And watching it, pleasantly surprised. Very good movie. Very handled very well, and just excellent. This again, I think, is exactly the same because they do that thing where they've given a Hollywood franchise to smart people. Who are able to execute it well, and they're able to write a decent script.
Did Matt Reeves direct the first one?
No,
No, it was who was it? Tommy? We were talking about this already. Remember?
I can't remember, man. Paul's going to bring up. But again, the other great thing I like about this, and I think this is a very good example of a sequel, because the film is not repeating the first one. It's taking you 10 years into this is where we're at now, and this is a different movie. It's kind of like the whole Aliens a horror film, Aliens is a war movie. Like this is like for me, this is very much a war film. And again, the way they kind of get to it's good. And you've mentioned it there, Alan, where it's like they do this brilliant thing where this film is going to feature humans and apes, but we're going to make you care about the apes and the humans because too
I
often
was
not.
kind of predisposed that way anyway.
But too often, like you'll see a film where it's either got like aliens or it's maybe got mutants or whatever, and it's like, but I don't care about them. It's more like I just care about like the humans in this kind of this fight, this conflict, whereas like there's good and bad on both sides.
Yeah, the whole way through,
They do
you
really well
want
with that.
Caesar to reach some sort of like
conclusion.
Yeah,
Like,
You want
I
them
feel
to
like-
both to be like, man, come
See,
on.
when I watched Avatar, and like it was like the film starts, and you're like, I've seen Last of the Mohicans, I've seen loads of other things that were saying that my means were blank. You can't remember just now.
But you're very much.
Like,
I
honest.
don't give.
Yeah, it was
a
like I was like I know
fuck
exactly
about
how
any
this entire movie's gonna go, and then
Yeah.
I'm just bored for 2.5 hours as it plays out. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is essentially that same formula, but like they managed to make the whole thing so fucking tense.
Aye.
Like that whole kind of idea that at any moment it could just fucking
kick off. Aye.
is great.
And again, it's like it's not just. It's got that whole. The humans are thinking this. There's a couple of folk that are thinking it's a bad idea. The apes can't be trusted. And there's other folks saying no, we need to reason with them. And then it'll be like in the ape colony, where in amongst them, there's that politics going on as
the
well. It's
exact
like,
same things
yeah,
happening.
exactly. It's like watching two sides of the same thing, but it's like from different, like, you know, there's the apes, there's the humans, but there's conflict on each thing where we're going to get to. And this is what happens when the conflict or the idea spills out of control, or when peace isn't given a chance, or whatever. And again, it's just they do that so well because it could have easily have been the apes are all evil and it's all their fault. But
Or it
again,
could have easily been all the humans are evil.
Exactly.
You know?
One thing I want to say about kind of Paco's point of kind of predictable plots, where I mean, the really interesting thing about these movies is that they are like we know where they're heading. We know it's heading toward either Charles Heston or the Tim Burton.
No.
But it's heading toward Planet of the Apes, and we're basically waiting to hear like a new baby being born and one of the monkeys saying, "This is Zeus." Like you're waiting for some kind of signifier of like, okay, now we're actually we're getting there, and you can see like between like the names Dawn and Rise, it's just like spinning wheels. Like, oh, how many of these movies can we get out before we have to take the dive?
Yeah, but even like the Charlton Heston ones, you had like there's like 3 sequels after that, like Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes. You know, but you're right. I think I would love it actually if the third one doesn't do like what you expect in the sense it's going to end with a shuttle coming in, and you're like, well, that'll be the Charlton Heston. I like the idea. It's like, no, the third movie is going to go to a point where it's like, right, this is where we're at now. This is Planet of the Apes. This is it. And then you can then watch the Charlton Heston movie, knowing that it might be several years in the future or whatever. But it's just it fits in nicely as prequels. It kind of does what the Star Wars prequels should have done. Yeah.
The thing I can't get my head around is they've done such a good job of making you sympathise and root for the apes.
How can you then turn it into?
Yeah, like they're the protagonists of it. Like Andy's like Caesar is the protagonist.
Caesar dies, I guess. That's what you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like
Also,
that's
showing you what the apes would be like under a different rule, like Cobra's rule. Instantly you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, sorry. The second thing is like, again, talking about like really good characterization of just really playing out really well, like not hammering over the head of like that Koba is this guy who hates humans because of what humans did to him, but because of how much he hates humans, he is then the most human out of all of them and carries out the most.
Like at one point Caesar said it's like the only thing he learned from humans is like
and it's such good writing.
It's like this is a movie about digital monkeys. Like this is so like.
But at times, like that's why I wouldn't say this film is absolutely brilliant, because at times in the last act it was just too ridiculous what was happening on screen, despite all the brevity that the film had. Brevity may be the wrong word.
Brevity, shortness.
Like gravity that it had. I don't know. Gravitas maybe. I don't know. Like, I've lost the word I'm supposed to be using. But despite like how well most film was done, when it gets to that last act, what's happening on the screen is just too fucking stupid. Like it's just too ludicrous. It just my mind was just like
I
can't get invested in that. Yeah, it's just
like I know what you mean. There's at that point now, even some of the shots, it has gone like a bit ridiculous.
It's like they try to replicate like the Normandy bit in Saving Private Ryan, where like you just see apes dying round about and dragging each other. I was like, I'm not feeling that.
Again though, I don't know. I was forgiving it. It's like here's your action scene, but I don't know. I just really liked it because it didn't turn into just right. We're gonna just have action because there's lots of things during that siege that happen where you're like, right, holy fuck, like what happens to Ash was excellent, and I was like,
didn't see that
fucking hell, I did not see that coming either. And again, there's a lot of bits where when there's the whole conflict of who's in charge, and it goes very tribal again, and it made me think of How to Train Your Dragon 2, where it's like an alpha being challenged. It's just that whole idea that it's like,
That's exactly what it was.
but again, it was just weird because like, man, I just seen How to Train Your Dragon 2, and they've done the exact same thing, and I really like that, the fact that the apes were doing what they were told by the alpha, but it's like it also had like.
You realise that's kind of how it works in nature.
Well, yeah,
The ape will always look for the strongest branch.
but yeah, no, but what I mean is like, I like it's kind of what you were saying, Paul, about the whole characterization of like the way that certain apes go. Even like Caesar's son is on such a journey throughout that film.
Yeah.
That again,
Like,
you care about, and you're like, yep,
He's
this is
like
what
a
should be.
third or fourth tier guy.
Exactly. You very easily could have cut that out, and
Yeah.
or like could have started off and then never really followed it up. But
Yeah.
instead they really.
That whole siege sequence, when it does focus a lot on him and his changing of ideas and all that, I thought made the ridiculousness. It's like, it's ridiculous. It looks cool, but it's more like, but there is purpose amongst all this, which I really like.
Like, when you just say it out loud that like this is one really cool shot I thought was in the movie, but when you say it out loud, right, it's Koba riding on horseback.
That was the worst bit.
With a
That was
machine
the
gun
worst
through the
bit.
fire.
Because no, it had two machine guns. Yeah, so fucking stupid.
No,
It was ridiculous. It was so
not
ridiculous.
like friend of the show, Casper Grzelski, we were talking about that as well. It's like, he was like, yeah, man, it is ridiculous, but I mean, it's the kind of thing I would love on a T-shirt with like lasers coming out his eyes. I'm like, yeah, it looked cool, but
Well,
it
actually,
was
so
just.
the second I saw that, I thought that's a gif in the making. Like it's
Yeah.
going to end up on
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong though. Like some of the other parts of it, like where you could totally see it being just a concept art of, like, this isn't so much like a movie about like America's fall from grace or whatever. Like that's already happened and stuff. They've been defeated.
Well, the world is.
Yeah, but like it's set in San Francisco.
Mhm.
Like that image, which like I'm guessing must have been on a poster somewhere, where one of the apes is standing on a flagpole that's got the ruined American flag, whilst there's troops below it.
Yeah.
That's such a good. Like, that'd be a great poster.
Yeah, well, that was in the trailer. I don't remember the poster, but a shot I loved, and again, you were like, nah, whatever. It was that shot of when they had the camera on the tank.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it was a very kind of Children of Men shot where it was like just the one shot and it was showing you everything's going, and it was just when the tank was either the gun was like turning or changing, or the tank was going a different direction. It was just, again, I was like, Matt Reeves must have been like, I thought the perfect shot of this whole siege. That's one of the first things I need to plan out.
Yeah, because that's them right as they get to the gate, more or less. And to show that from like Koba's perspective, more or less.
Yes.
It's a great way to go about it.
Yeah. I mean, I just, that's it really. It's a great. This is what blockbuster sequels should be made of.
Smart writing.
Yeah,
like that,
this
like,
is
how hard is that?
It's like, it's so easy to fuck up when you watch Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes and you're like, what? And then you scratch, and then the ending happens. You're scratching your head like, what the fuck was? This is a wasted opportunity. Look, you've got a lot of talent here. What the fuck was going on? And then it's like you look at this, you're like, no. You see, what's happened is they've stripped it right back, and they've showed you in a very fantastical way the realistic maybe way it might go.
It's not a movie about the apes.
They're treating them like humans.
Class.
Humans is the only way for us to kind of say it, but yeah, they're treating them like people, like
People disagree. People with
like
differences.
thoughts and
People,
feelings and
yeah,
emotions.
Yeah, not just damn dirty apes. And again, like, yeah, a lot of like the whole thing with Caesar's family. Again, as I said about his son, excellent. Just the way the ape colony, excellent. Like that hunting sequence at the start, again, involving Caesar's like supposed like kind of best friend and his son. And again, some folk have kind of used the whole Shakespearean overtones in it, but there are little glimmers of it where they've obviously looked at. Well, look at, I mean, even the fact that he's called Caesar.
Yeah.
The whole conflict that goes on, like with his son, with his family, with his pal,
betrayals,
all
and
there, and you're like, yeah, it's like, oh my god, there's politics in here as well, But yeah, I can't really say anything more other than it's excellent.
Andy Serkis is great.
It's so good,
What a fantastic actor! And kind of talking about like small details, like him walking, just tiny things like that, brilliant. Just such an eye for detail and such an eye.
Like, his voice wasn't like touched up at all either. That's all.
That's like every one of their voices. Like it's just a slow drip feeding of language and evolution.
And like being that they are all just apes of like more or less the same kind of breed of monkey, like I had no trouble telling them apart like ever. They did a really good job of making them like their own characters and stuff, even just down to like like sees her son that has those kind of sad eyes and stuff. And,
Yeah. And again, the reactions that, like, even when like things were kicking off and they started like shouting loud, again, it's just those little attention to detail where you're like, yeah, we're going to show like kind of like human elements in terms of like the social interactions the apes have, but we're also going to show you like what, like when they freak out, that this is what they do, kind of thing.
What I liked is how, because it's set 10 years after, like it totally feels like in the 10-year interim, the world has been going on as it has progressed naturally, and it doesn't feel like it's saying, okay, we're going to set it 10 years later because it's a movie thing to do. It's like we're just going to, there's like, in the history of this big world, there was the outbreak, everyone went shit, and then at some point there was this one incident that was a catalyst for like something else bad to happen, and so it's like we're just going to fast forward to this one incident, and so it just picks up, and it just feels totally natural, like to pick up from the last film, move forward to this one, and then everyone is in where they're supposed to be. Like, you believe that they went from Rise of the Planet of the Apes to this one, and it just feels that you're not. It doesn't feel like a movie set.
Let's be fair. The Dark Knight Rises is the beginning of that a little bit. There's a little bit of like, oh yeah, Heath Ledger died, didn't he?
Kind of like, yeah, like there's no like, okay, 10 years later set up. It's just like, now we're back and things are about to go bad.
Yeah, it's the same as like when the third one hits. I mean, the way this one ends, you're like, right, is this when it is just going to be like showing them at the early stages of claiming the planet or whatever, or is it going to be, right, this is set 5 years after this one and this is where we're at now? And I'm like, yeah,
that's like, they do such a good job of setting up that there is going to be a sequel, and yet rewarding you for watching this movie. Like, you know,
it doesn't feel like just total sequel bait. It doesn't feel like a cliffhanger or anything at all. It just feels like this was a necessary story that needed to be told, and like a good one.
Yeah,
told well.
I love the fact that, and again, it's not really a spoiler here, that the first time that the first shot of Caesar ends up kind of being the reverse for the last shot of the film. Excellent. Again,
you get a feeling they were doing that just to be like, look how good.
Look at Andy Serkis. Look at that.
Yeah. I kind of hope they don't end the next one with the tie into the Planet of the Apes original. I would like them to take their time. It shows more of how this happened.
But again, there's nothing. So far, we've got 2 movies, and the third one is like, well, we've got nothing to fear. I mean, it seems to be in the hands of smart blockbuster writers.
I don't know, but
directors.
You've got the interest in. I mean, presumably, the original Planet of the Apes ends at the Statue of Liberty, which is in New York, and we were currently in San Francisco, so that alone means they've got to get across America somehow.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, if I remember, I mean, this is what's really, I think we talked about this before. Planet of the Apes is, I mean, it's that old and it's got such a big twist. It's like Citizen Kane or Casablanca. You've seen it, and it's been in loads of like different pop culture, TV shows, whatever. But to have the twist ending on the front of the DVD, I still think is pretty fucking lame. But come the end of like Charlton Heston's Planet of the Apes, there's a few things he sees. It's not just the Statue of Liberty. It's like other things, and they're like on a beach somewhere. You're like, well, I guess. Was this New York?
Maybe it was Las Vegas.
You're like, that's what it turns out. They were in Vegas the whole time.
That's just like an hour's drive from San Francisco.
So totally doable. Talking about things that you see from Las Vegas set design, a lot of like really good, specifically kind of within the monkeys, like the world they've created. I suppose the kind of colony and the homes and the staircase and everything. All of that looks
Even the city, like the overgrown city, like it looks like The Last of Us and stuff like.
I remember
that really kind of just really rich environment. Was great. I love all that stuff, like cities that have been overgrown and like taken back by nature.
Yeah.
That's like that always looks great, I think.
But yeah, I'm glad that I'm not the only one that thought this, because when Paul Curry said it to you and he said to me, he's like, I was watching it and I was just waiting for Joel and Elliot to show up, because I'm like, yeah, right. It's like, like you said, the city's been taken by nature, and there's animals kicking by. You're like, yeah, where are they? They can go over that hill. That'd be lovely thing. But yeah, excellent.
Did anybody mention like the good bits of the film, like where good things are happening?
What do you mean?
It's in like when it's not all war and distrust and shit.
Humans.
Yeah, when it's like when they're getting along.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Did anybody talk about that?
No.
Those bits are fantastic, man.
Lead actor. Jason Clarke,
yeah.
Like I don't know him at all.
He's going to be in the next Terminator.
He's been in something.
He was in
I've
Zero
seen
Dark
before.
30 as well.
Well, I thought he had quite a Jason Segel look to him.
Yeah, I
a
can see that.
likable face, big eyes with a beard. But I thought he was a good character, lead character.
Yeah.
Like his son as well. Like
Yeah.
see, like all the bits where you just like even like that's one of those films where you go in knowing, as you said, you know where it's going to go. You know that there's going to be a war and the humans are going to lose. That's just, you know, those things. Like you still kind of hope, like, you know, like the wee babies like kind of playing about with the woman and the kid, and, like it's all good and stuff, and like when the son's like teaching the orangutan how to read it from the book and stuff, and like all those bits, you're like, man, that's
See the
really
son in
fucking
it?
cool.
Is he the boy that's in Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close?
No, he's the boy that's in the road.
Ah, okay.
Cody Smith McPhee, I think it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, see all that stuff. Like, I would like it if in the next movie there is like a handful of like humans who have went off and just joined the apes and just live with them. Because although I guess that wouldn't really work.
Because the way the war's going to go.
Yeah.
Unless you have like just a third, like there's some
Exactly,
monkeys who have left and then humans who have joined up. I don't know.
Well, like you said, yeah, there could be different, rather than just the apes being one, there could be different factions.
Because like if I was Caesar, that's what I would do. Is be like, anyone who doesn't want to fight and kill ourselves,
Let's
come with me and let's just be cool together.
Whereas folk are like, no, we've seen what happens when we take action, so we might do that. No, it's interesting. It could go in a lot of directions, but I'm not worried about the next movie. I'm already looking forward to it.
Especially like if the same folk are in charge of the writing and directing.
Yeah.
Like that, like from the opening shot, the film lets you know that it's going to be
serious.
Yeah. Like that whole sequence, like showing you how the pandemic spread and stuff like that.
Which was again
fantastic.
Yeah.
It was fucking great.
I love that. Like,
Here's
your rascal tail. Yeah.
And then like just because it was like such a reasonable idea how that sort of thing would happen, you know, like it wasn't like so many other like kind of zombie scenario ones where you're like, that's not how it would go down. But this one, it was like totally, I could see that.
Yeah,
working out.
And like Gary Oldman wasn't a total comic villain. Like he was totally within his rights to do what he thought he was going to do and stuff.
Cobra as well, man. Like see that bit where like Caesar mentioned something about like human work, and Cobra's like human work, showing him the scar on his neck and stuff. It's like,
but even that bit where like they get the power back and you hear that like recognisable blip of like a Apple device powering on, and then Gary Oldman goes and looks through his pictures and he just has a wee moment where it breaks down. That was just such a great touch to like remind you this is a human guy who's lost everything. Like
it feels nice to have a blockbuster which is like, because you know what, blockbusters are generally really fucking shit. And it feels like a lot of them this year have been really fucking shit.
Nice, and it's kind of sad that we are getting so like.
It was good back in our day.
No, so enthusiastic about something simple as being well written. Like that should be a base requirement.
That isn't just limited to movies though. Like games and TV shows are the same. Like especially fucking video games, they need to start getting good writers.
Yeah, like that's why everyone lost their mind over Last of Us. Like, because it's well written. Like that's again, it should be the first thing you do.
Can you imagine if like The Last of Us was just like an average game? Because there's nothing like the gameplay in that isn't amazing.
Yeah.
Like if all the
that
games
puts people off in the beginning because it's like, just do the same thing.
If all the games were to that standard and that was just an average game, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, totally worth seeing. Next week we have Earth to Echo, which is kind of
E.T.
It looks like Super 8, except
E.T.
by
Super
Disney.
8.
Oh, Super 8, you mean E.T.
Hercules, Rockules is out, starring The Rock. The House of Magic, which looks terrible.
It's an animated film. Is it an animated film?
I think it's a Fox animation.
It's
Which
not very good.
when did they do stuff like that? Joe, which is that Nicolas Cage movie. But he has a beard.
About apparently it's supposed to be really good. It's like an indie kind of drama where it's about a drifter who, a teenage boy, I think he's like he kind of wanders in and Nick Cage sees him and he kind of like is mentoring him or whatever. It's like it's supposed to be, again, it's not Nick Cage like, oh god, I've only got 10 hours to find my family. It's more like, he's acting in it. He's actually giving this little indie drama a go.
Even when he does act.
Okay, we'll leave that till next week.
And The Purge, Anarchy is out as well.
Terrible name, terrible reviews so far.
Oh really? Great poster though.
Laura lost it, that's what it was. She lost in the purge.
Yeah, the poster is like
the
the
flag.
American flag.
Yeah, maybe the guns.
Great poster.
Yeah.
But yeah, so joining next week, we've seen at least one of them probably. Laura will be back, fresh from her night of death. Yeah, I say that all the time. Who knows? Who knows? So yeah, thanks very much for listening. More Raptors and Get You next week.